think it's alive. Hi, YouTube. I don't know why I do this every time I go live. I just feel like, I don't know. Oh, let me check my phone. Just to see what's going on. This is my first scheduled live stream, so I'm a little excited to be here. Give me a second. Let me see what's going on out there with me. Give me a second. Let me see what's going on out there. Hey, girl, it's you. Hey, girl, it's you. Okay. So I am. Let me close out YouTube so I don't get feedback. Hi, good morning, sunshines. How are you? Welcome to my channel. The name of my channel is Organized Chaos, and I called it that because I am a lot of things. I am not just one thing, and there's not just one thing I want to ever do or talk about. Before I get started, let me stop eating popcorn first. I was eating popcorn while I was making sure I had everything set up and organized. And hopefully I'm not struggle streaming. The last time I did a Streamyard thing, I joined a panel and I was struggle streaming. Let me turn this down so I'm back here. I joined TLA's panel and your girl was struggle streaming. So I do hope that I am no longer a struggle streamer, at least for right now. But I don't think it's gonna count as much, only because I'm not on somebody else's panel. It's mine. And I think the last time I went live, it was okay. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we are good. It's been live for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And before I get started with the topic at hand, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. I've had this channel for a while. I just haven't done much with it. And it was actually on my personal Google Gmail page. This year, when I decided to really put more effort into my channel, I created the Organized Chaos channel and moved everything from my personal channel onto my Organized Chaos channel. So it looks like y'all, I need my Carmex, just because if you've ever watched any of my videos, especially the first ones, I need Carmex. All right, so yeah, so it looks like I've been on YouTube like forever. Like it's a couple videos of my kids and all of that back in the day. I actually have another channel from my dance studio that I used to have. I didn't bring those videos over here only because I'm a retired dance studio owner. So yeah, so I've been on YouTube for a while. I just haven't really actively tried to be on YouTube until this year. And this year, it didn't start with my hair journey. It actually started when my friend told me I needed to journal. If you guys watched, and it's gone now, I deleted it. I mean, everything still lives somewhere. My first drinks and journal was a total disaster. Listen, I am from the D. I live in the D, and your girl was doing some goofy D things, even at my age. So I deleted that one just because I do like to be employed, and I do like the ability to have the flexibility to do other things like coming on YouTube. So today is not going to be a disaster. However, it is considered a drinking journal, and I have a drinking journal. I always have a drink. Most recently, I've been doing like my little squeezy. I don't even have one up here. Oh, yes, I'll keep one. Listen. These little thingies, I like lemonade. So I haven't put those in water. But today, so my absolute favorite pop, and I don't need to hear your negativity about my pop, is, I'm not getting paid, it literally is Diet Pepsi. I love it. So I've already cleaned off the rim, you guys. And there's this thing that some YouTubers do that I really wanted to do just because. So I'm going to do it because I can. All right. So this is my little Diet Pepsi, right? The YouTube. Oh, look, y'all. I got a little microphone too. Hello. So they open up. So it's like ASMR with the can opening thing. So I'm gonna try that today. I don't know if you can hear the bubbles. So yeah, it's my little Diet Pepsi. I'm gonna pour that in my cute little cup with my little straw. It's the straw for me when I do drinks and journals. It's the straw, literally. And I'm running out of these little clear star straws. I have colorful ones, but I like the clear ones. They're shorter. All right, so I got my little drink together, my little Diet Pepsi. And I'm going to get started with my drinking journal. So this drinking journal is about something called esophageal atresia. Pause. Was I supposed to tell y'all something else? Absolutely. I was supposed to oh no, that's Carmex. I thought that was popcorn. Like, girl, you was on the camera with popcorn. Don't do that. That ain't cute. I was telling you a little bit about me. So the name of the page is Organized Chaos. It is home to this, which is a drinking and journal. It is home to my lock updates. It is home to not my ministry, things that I try a little bit of everything because I am YOLO. You only live once. So I will try some things. It's just not always my ministry. And so I record them. And then sometimes they get categorized as not my ministry. And then another thing that we're going to try to do, if Roz gets it together, we are going to do a chat with one of my really good friends, Foxy, and it's going to be called Women of a Certain Age. We are both, I'm approaching 50, she's in her 50s, and we do enjoy talking about the life that we have lived, the experiences that we have had, and we do want to share that with our YouTube spaces. So follow my girl Foxy and Family. She has a YouTube channel, and then make sure you girl, make sure you subscribe, and share my channel. I'm getting a little sip of Diet Pepsi because I told you I was eating popcorn while I was trying to set all the things up and move the cameras around. All right, since my last struggle stream with TLA, I have a new computer. I think that was the problem. The RAM, I ran a lot of tests after that. The RAM on my old computer was 6 gigabytes. That's terrible. So I got a new computer. Well, it's not new. I had it. It had 8 gigabytes and I added 8. So this one has 16. So I am hoping that it doesn't do the struggle thingy thing. And while I'm talking to you guys, I am closing out some of these tabs that I have open. Another thing that I've done is I have dual monitors now. So originally I had my camera set up on this little thingy on my desk. I'm gonna show you just because I had it set up on this little thingy, but it's too tall. So I'm gonna probably take that into the basement when I want to record some other stuff and leave the camera here. So it's mounted on my monitor. And so I have this monitor here, which allows me to look at least more like I'm looking at you when needed. And then I have this monitor here, and over here is where I actually have the Streamyard streaming. So hopefully I don't do the struggle thing today. I won't know until playback. One day I would like to share with you guys about my genealogy research, my DNA. I did find out that I am about 26% European. Who knew? I think my mama knew. So there's a very interesting story about that, and there's lots of ghosts in my genealogy tree. And then another thing I want to share with you guys one day is my YouTube subscriptions. Like, I am Organized Chaos. My YouTube subscriptions are very all over the place. One of my favorite content creators was booted from YouTube, and I had stopped following that person because it just went downhill from there as far as I'm concerned. So that's one thing about following people or subscribing to channels on YouTube. It is fluid, right? Especially if you are an avid YouTube consumer or viewer or content creator. You might subscribe to somebody today and unsubscribe tomorrow. It is just part of the process. But I would like to ask you to hit subscribe, like, and share for me, please. It's been 10 minutes, so I'm going to get started. All right, I am going to present it here, and I can share it here. Don't show this screen again. Give me a second, guys. It is loading. It gives me the ability to choose my screen, but it is still loading. So hold on, please, while it loads. Loading. I think it is struggle loading. And it's on the wrong slide, but it is sharing, I think. And I don't know how to go back. Hold on a second, guys. I can't even escape. I'm just going to leave it here because, oh wait, it's moving. It's moving. It's alive. See, it's doing too much. Make it stop. Make it stop. I'm struggling. This is the struggle. This is the struggle. This is the struggle. And it's going so slow. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing it. And then I'm going to reshare it when I get it together over here. So let's stop it. Let's escape it. Because it just doesn't want to do right over here. And then I'm going to reshare it. Give me a moment, please. This is all part of my process, you guys, of trying to learn how to do this YouTube thingy. And now my Google slide is stuck for some reason. Okay, I think I got it now. All right, you guys, I got it. They're just moving slow. I hope it's not delayed or slow on your end, though. Okay, present, share, let's go. All right, so today's drinking journal is about a very rare birth defect, as my thing is loading, called esophageal atresia. Yes, my YouTube name is Organized Chaos, but my name is Keisha Akim. So, esophageal atresia is, in a very short layman's term. Now, see, I do look like I'm struggle streaming on here. And I think it's because this is loading, you guys. I don't know. And I probably shouldn't lean back because I don't know if the mic is going to pick up. Oh, you know what I can do? Listen, I got a whole mic, girl. Be fancy. I want to pull the mic out. It's not working now. Let me sit up. All right. Hopefully I'm not still struggle streaming, and hopefully you can see the screen and we can get started. So this is about my family's esophageal atresia story. And so the esophageal atresia is when the esophagus does not connect to the stomach. If you look at the screen and my huge mouse that's on the screen, the stomach and the esophagus have a disconnect. There are several different types of esophageal atresia, and I chose this one because this is the type that my son has. And I'll show you a few of the different types that actually exist. So I hit enter, but nothing's moving. So it's going really, really slow. What's going on, Google? You guys, I don't know if it wants to share. I think we're going to be struggle sharing and struggle streaming today. My slides aren't really working the way they're supposed to work. Oh, let's just click it. Click it, girl. Click it. Okay, so this is just the technically correct definition, but I already told you what it was, and I'm not about to read because you guys know how to read, and I don't want to do an hour live stream, but it literally is just the esophagus does not connect to the stomach. You need the esophagus to connect to the stomach because eating and drinking are like super duper important. So yeah, it's a huge deal, right? So part of what happened to me was when I went in for my, see what I'm saying? Like it's moving too fast. Make it go back. Too fast. Okay, go forward. Y'all, I'm struggle Googling slide. Now see, now what just happened? What is going on? I have issues. The struggle is real. My Google Slides is acting like, where did it go? Why is my Google Slides acting like this? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing because I don't know what just happened. And I'm gonna try this one more time. And if it doesn't work, I'm leaving. I'm just gonna leave. Oh, look, I see the okay, the Wi-Fi is okay there. Okay, y'all, let's try this one more time. I don't have any, I have 2 tabs open over here, and I have the Streamyard open here, and I don't know why it's treating me this way. And I feel so lost. Okay, it's opening, you guys. It's just loading really, really slow. And I don't really understand why. And I set this up earlier. It wasn't really hard to put this together because it is like literally my life. But it is processing very slow. I might need to not do this. I've been on for 17 minutes and 30 seconds, and the technical difficulties are real. It's still loading. Okay, I'm gonna hit share screen one more time. Okay. Share screen. Share that screen. Present that screen. I think it's the googly things. It's loading. I'm gonna share it, and you're gonna sit with me and watch it load. Oh, I thought that was something in my lock. All right, one more time. We're gonna try this one more time. And let's see if it works this time. It is just loading really, really slow. I don't know why. And it's making me really, really sad. I thought I had worked out the kinks. And your girl is still struggle streaming. Struggle streaming. It's real. I'm going to pull the mic up. Struggle streaming. Your girl is struggle streaming. Listen, I don't think it's me struggle streaming now. I think it's the Google slide that's struggle streaming. So I feel like in the future, we're not going to put it on the Google slide. But I'm a teacher. I like Google slides. I don't know what to do. Why is it still loading? It just does not take this long to load. But here we are. And it still hasn't loaded yet. And I don't know what to do. If it doesn't load in 10, 9, 8, 7. It's alive! Listen, I need more than this Diet Pepsi in this cup right now. while I'm over here struggle streaming. ASMR. All right, so I talked about this already. What exactly is esophageal atresia? And I hit enter and I'm going to take my hands off of it because I feel like it's going to go too fast if I touch anything, but then it's really moving slow when I'm not touching anything. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to put my comment on the screen while I wait. I've never put a comment on the screen. How does that work? Oh, it's on the screen. Yay. So I posted this earlier when I created my Streamyard. So that's pretty cool. I think it's the Wi-Fi signal on Streamyard. My Wi-Fi signal is going. It says connection is fairly good if you're on Wi-Fi. And then it just went away. So I don't know what that means. Okay, so I know how to put comments on the screen now. That's cool. I took it off. And the slide hasn't moved. Okay, so if I left click, it moves. I'm not going to touch it again. So I gave you guys the definition of esophageal atresia. The esophagus is not connected to the tummy. No food, no drinks. It's a problem. There are various degrees of esophageal atresia. This is my story. I went into to get my 18-week ultrasound. See what I'm saying? Like, why did it go so fast? I'm going to leave it right there and I'm just going to tell you my story because I'm tired and I'm not going out again. So I went in at 18 weeks. I wonder if don't touch it, Keisha. Don't touch it. So I went in at 18 weeks, got my ultrasound. I was excited. This was my second child. My husband and I wanted a little boy. They told us we were having a boy, and then it got quiet. I knew because of my first experience that something was absolutely wrong. Why are they so quiet, right? So they called in the doctor. They wouldn't tell me anything other than that I was having a boy. When the doctor came in, Dr. Katz was his name. He told me that he thought I had esophageal atresia. He suggested that I terminate the pregnancy, and I just said no. I knew that my son would be just fine. They sent me for a battery of tests, like literally test here, test there, ultrasounds, MRIs, just as you're pregnant and they are putting you through the ringer with all of the tests, right? So I did all of the tests. They told me that my son would be worst case scenario, that he was going to have a long gap esophageal atresia and that he was going to have complications when he came out. He wasn't originally diagnosed with esophageal atresia. He was actually diagnosed with TEF, tracheoesophageal atresia. And that is when the esophagus, part of it connects to the trachea and part of it is disconnected from anything. Or you can have the double trach. Both parts can be connected to the trachea. So they told me all of the worst case scenarios, and my husband was shook. I went through the emotions. I joined an online support group. I learned as much as I could about esophageal atresia, tracheoesophageal atresia. And with everything that was in me, I knew that my son was going to be okay. And that's all I would he's going to be fine. Literally, he's going to be fine. So the technicians, we talked about that part already. I gave you guys a little bit about my experience towards the end of the pregnancy. So when babies are diagnosed with esophageal atresia, the way that they find out is that during the ultrasound, the fetus should have a dark spot in their stomach. When they got to my son's stomach area, there was no dark spot, so that they knew he wasn't drinking the amniotic fluid. Now, mind you, this is my second child. I didn't even know about babies drinking amniotic fluid. That's what happens when you don't have a complicated pregnancy. You can be very oblivious to all of the things that can go wrong. My first pregnancy, boom, 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 daughter born, perfect. Second pregnancy, girl, you about to learn about some things out here. Some things like esophageal atresia. What? Who the what? Your girl was shook. So they again they did all of these tests, they did all of these scans. I had procedures to drain the amniotic fluid from my stomach. They stick an extremely long needle into your stomach. They keep the ultrasound on there because they don't want to stick the baby, and they would drain gallons of amniotic fluid from my stomach because it was 2 times what a normal pregnant stomach should be, because babies recycle that amniotic fluid. They drink it. They I was gonna say pee it out. But my educated brain was like, girl, find a better word. Girl, listen, they pee it out. So they recycle the fluid, you guys. And so, because of the complications that they anticipated that he would have, they didn't want me to give birth naturally. They wanted me to have a C-section because they didn't know what was going to happen when he came out. So we did it. He came out, and guess what? My boy was best case scenario. All of the drama that they had sent me through, all of the scariness that I had lived through during that entire pregnancy, when he came out, he had a very short gap. And they were able to eventually take that short gap of the esophagus and the stomach and just pull it together. Now, all of the things that they had told me about the long gap, that he was going to have to remove some of his intestines, connect it. They didn't know if it was TEF and it was going to be a hole in his trachea they would have to mend. When he came out, none of that happened. None of that. Because again, I knew he would be just fine. All right, so next thing, please work. I hit the enter and it worked, you guys. Now, how long is it going to take to load? Here we are. It's getting better. I'm not as struggly streaming as I was 20 minutes ago. I'm going to get it together, YouTube, one day. And I have no idea who's watching me, but hey, girl, hey, guy, hey, them, hey, they. Hi. Thank you for tuning in to my live. And the whole struggle stream of it all. Okay, so look, these are the different types visually of esophageal atresia. I'm gonna take my big old mouse. I made my mouse bigger for y'all because I wanted you guys to be able to see that thing moving around, just like a teacher. You know, I'm a teacher, just like the teacher in the classroom. So the esophageal atresia that they thought my son would have was this one or this one. These two are kind of the same. It's just depending on which one is actually connected. This is the normal anatomy of what your esophagus goes into your stomach, and nobody thinks twice about any of it. This is the one that I put on my thumbnail because this is the one that my son actually had, a very short gap atresia. Okay. Did enter work? I don't know. The struggle of it all. All right. So this is just verbally showing you guys what the esophageal atresia is and the percentage of the people who have this type of esophageal atresia. The one that my son actually has is called type A, and there are about 8% of children, and I think it's 1 in 4,000 that have it. 8% of those children actually have type A. Okay. These are the other types. I won't go through all of those because this is my story. All right, so this is my little miracle baby when he was in the hospital with all of the things. I put pictures of myself and my husband in the crib, and we had pictures of myself and my daughter and all of the tubes that are coming out of my perfect little human being. This right here is the feeding tube because right now, I think he had just gotten the surgery done. You can tell this is a scar that he will have forever. And there's also another tube on his side. He has the nose tube, and he hated this thing. It drove him absolutely crazy. And all of the monitors and all of the things everywhere on my perfect little boy. So it was just so many tubes, feeding tubes, monitors, and all of the scary things. That's just one more visual of him. And then guess what? By the time he turned 1 year old, nothing. He had absolutely nothing, and he just was pure joy. Then we get to 16 years, which is where we are now. And what prompted me to create this drinking journal for you guys, it is because there will always be some type of complications. And these complications are because when they have the surgery, at the site of the opening of the surgery, there's a muscle that lets the food go down. When children with esophageal atresia have their reconnect surgery, nothing goes down through the muscle. And so this is the peristalsis, I believe. I thought I had practiced saying it earlier, y'all, so please excuse me. I ran some errands, came back home, sat down. I should have went over my slides before I did. So that muscle actually squeezes the food down naturally. Well, because of the scar tissue, that muscle just doesn't exist for him. So he does not have that muscle, and he has to chew just a little bit more. He has to take smaller bites, and when he doesn't, it can cause regurgitation. And he also is at risk for stomach, the acid reflux. That scar tissue does build up over time. So over years, the size of the esophagus gets smaller and smaller and smaller because of the scar tissue. And since his original correction, he has undergone 3 dilations. The most recent one was this week. And so once we were sitting in there, and I'm like, I don't think many people know about this. When I told my boss I had to be off that day, he had no idea what it was. And so most people don't. So I was like, this will be a really good and interesting drinking journal because it's education, which is my thing. And, this time though, because my son is getting older, when he was little, I knew when he needed to go in. Well, he's older now, so he is very independent. He's on his own, not on his own. He still lives here, but he has a car. He drives himself to school, to football practice, and all those things. So when he's, regurgitating or having problems, if he doesn't bring it to me, I really don't know. So he waited a long time to tell me it was bad. When he told me it was bad, I knew it was bad. And I was like, oh, we got to go to the doctor. We went to the doctor, and guess what? You need to go in. And they wanted to look at it. They wanted to scope it. This next picture is just, getting prepped for this recent procedure. I'm comfortable showing it because he's fully masked and you can barely see him. It's not new for him to have this procedure, but it's been a while. And today is day 3, and he's still recovering today. I sit in the waiting room and I wait, which is probably the most difficult part of this journey because as a mom, when your children go under anesthesia, it's just risky in and of itself. And so, you hope that when the doctors get in there that they're going to give you best case scenario when they come out and that everything's going to be fine. And so this is just me waiting. These are pictures, warning, these are actual pictures of an esophagus. So this part right here is what his opening for his food to go down looked like when the doctor went down with the scope and the camera. He was not able to get the scope down to do a biopsy of the stomach. This is the opening. Now he's able to go down and he's able to put the scope down and do a biopsy. Right here, because it was so closed, right here over here is a little tear. And right now my son is having a little, it hurts him a little bit over here because it's a tear. It's a scar. So it has to heal internally. So this is just a before he was dilated, and this is an after he was dilated. This is just a little data about esophageal atresia. I got the information from rarediseases.com. We have to give credit where credit is due. This is a very, very, very rare disease. It has nothing to do with genetics, and they don't know why children get this disease. It's about 1 in 4,000 live births in the United States. Genetically, less than 1% is caused through genetics, basically. Half of the infants with esophageal atresia, I told you they originally diagnosed him with TEF, also have other birth defects. My son does not, and it does require surgical correction to live. In the 50s, babies that were born with this disease did not survive because they didn't have the means to connect the esophagus to the stomach. And these are just the 3 different groups of children that are born at different rates. My son would fall into group 1. He had no major defects. He weighed more than 3.5 pounds when he was born. And so he has 100%, he falls into the 100% survival. After that, it goes to 82 to 50. But the survival rates today are increasing, and it is way better than it was in the 50s. And that is it. That is my family's esophageal atresia story. I would like to thank the one person that tuned in live. I hope you guys catch this on replay. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and share my video. Hopefully, prayerfully, it's not too glitchy. And you guys can make it through. I am at about 36 minutes. I'm going to take another sip of my little Diet Pepsi here. And leave a comment if you know somebody that has esophageal atresia or that has been through this journey. One of the things, you know what I didn't do? And I'm going to do it. I was going to read to you guys from my journal when I showed you the pictures of him. So I'm going to escape out of the full view, and I'm going to go back to some of the pictures of him, and I'm going to read to you some of my journal of when he was actually in the hospital, if my Google slide will go back. So I am going to let that do what it does. It's doing its thing now. So my first entry that I'm going to read from is from March the 8th, 2005. Today, this becomes Keyshawn's log. That is my boogaloo. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to put this one up. If it'll go up. He was born 6 pounds, 8 ounces by a C-section. Remember, I told you they scheduled that C-section because they were not sure what was going to happen when he came out. He was admitted to the NICU. On the 4th, the very next day, he had a surgery. They realized that it was a pure atresia. So he moved from the TEF atresia that he was diagnosed with to the pure atresia. And they put in a G tube so that he could be fed. And I was pumping breast milk for a long time. I'm going to present. Actually, let's do the one of him turning 1. That one is a little bit more joyous, if we can get it to come up. On the 7th of March, I was released from Hutso. It was very difficult. He was wide awake when I left, when I went to say goodbye. On the 8th of March, he was doing great when I went to visit him. So I would leave, go home, take a shower, maybe take a nap if I could, and then go right back to the hospital. And my husband and I would take shifts. So I was able to go home, wash up, and he would be there with him. And then I would leave, and he would be able to go do the same. On the 8th, I tell him, you are doing so great. No oxygen needed since your birth. You are up to 23 milliliters an hour in your feedings, and you're starting at 5 milliliters an hour on 3-5. So he went from 5 milliliters to 23 within about 3 days. Excuse me. I gave you your first bath on 3-5, and today I gave you a bath and changed your poop diaper. You sleep now, and I should be getting out of here. I left you a picture of me in spirit and dressed you today for the first time. You should have your next surgery in about 2 weeks to connect your esophagus to your stomach. And after you heal, you should be good to go. The next journal entry was from March the 10th. Your nurse today is Nancy. The baby in the bed to your right is Kyle, and his mom is having his mom is Tony. She's been through a lot. She has 4 children, and she had a normal pregnancy. And Kyle is really sick right now. We are praying for him and all the babies that have to go through this. This has been a very humbling and uplifting experience, and truly a test of my faith. You are a cutie pie, and the nurses are just spoiling you to death. Don't get a big head, okay? The next entry that I have is from March the 11th. Marcia is your nurse today. I got here around 9:50 a.m. and Dr. Kent told me they were going to schedule your surgery for April the 4th. That's the day before your sister's birthday. I was hoping it would be in March, but the surgeon, Dr. Cullen, is leaving town and wants to be around just in case something happens after surgery. I'm kind of bummed out, but I can wait. If it's going to help ensure your health. The next entry that I have is March the 12th. Allison is your nurse today on afternoons. Kelly is your nurse this evening. I forgot how long you were when you were born. Kelly says you were 19 inches long. Your last weigh in was 6 pounds, 5 ounces. At 12 a.m., you weighed 6 pounds, 7.5 ounces. So his feeding tube was working really, really well, and everything was good to go. On March the 13th, happy Sunday, son. I left around 3 o'clock in the morning today and came back around 12:30 p.m. Your dad was still here. That's nice. Um, he called around 11:30 a.m. to tell me they were an hour late with your feed. I was so mad. I started fussing and cussing, but then I had to check myself and thank God that you were okay and that people make mistakes. You look so good. I had to bring extra clothes today because yesterday you pooped on everything. You had on, and I had to put a hospital t-shirt on you, and I didn't like that one bit. The next entry is from the 24th of March. At 12:30 p.m., you went back for your surgery. I'm sad, glad, all these things in one. I've been here all night, and I'm glad I was here. You had to get an IV last night, and they stopped feeding you at midnight. You were sound asleep when you left. Your father missed you going in by 10 minutes. Then the next one is it's been rough. The morning after surgery, I called to check on you and was told you turned blue. My son turned blue, you guys. Um, you had a total of 4 blue spells, and we realized it was an adverse reaction you were having to the morphine. They switched you to fentanyl, and you have been great. Your swelling has gone down, and you look great. I'm so anxious for Thursday to get here so they can check for leakage, and so that I can possibly start feeding you. Also, so they can take that chest tube out. I think that's your biggest source of discomfort right now. The next entry is from March the 29th. Today you look so good. I came in at 12:30 p.m. and the nurse told me you haven't had pain meds since 2:30 a.m. You the man. They also moved you to a less intensive room, which means we should be out of here soon. Not much else to report, so I'll write back later. Love you very, very much, Mommy. Next entry is April the 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. They took your nose tube out yesterday. You didn't have any leaks when you went in for your swallow test yesterday. They will likely begin feeding you today. I hope to breastfeed you and hope you will latch on. I'm trying to get to the hospital by 8 a.m. to see what happens. On the next day, which was April the 2nd, you latched on great. Heather is your nurse today, and she said they are talking about sending you home on Monday. And that is the last page. And after he got home, we were able to celebrate the Boogaloo's very first birthday. No more tubes, no more extensive surgeries. And he's been good to go for about 16 years. Like I said, the only things that are happening now is every now and then he does have to go get his esophagus dilated so they can open it up so that he's able to swallow food and he doesn't have the reflux. So, you guys, that is my esophageal atresia story. I thank you for tuning in. There was a little bit of struggle streaming going on. I'm going to watch this on playback and we're going to see what happened. But again, I do thank you. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for helping me get my numbers up. I have goals on my description. My first goal is to get to 100 subscribers. I am not going to tell you where I'm at, but I'm somewhere, but I'm not at 100. When I get to 100 subscribers, I will unhide my subscriber numbers. When I get to 200 subscribers, I think I'm going to get the actual Streamyard so I can get that ugly duck off of my corner. When I get to 300 subscribers, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think it's something I'm going to do. I can't remember what it is. I'm not getting a new camera for 300. It's something. When I get to 500 or 1,000, I think I want to get a new camera and we're going to have a party. But until then, 100 is our current goal. All right, you guys, please hit that subscribe. Please hit that like and share the drinking journal. Thank you for tuning in, and bye, guys. Oh, if I can stop it. End broadcast. Still learning.